And we'll now recognize the gentlewoman from Hawaii for 5 minutes.
Thank you very much, Chair Chavez and Ranking Member Bass. This is my second year that Congresswoman Bass has sat for me when I do this testimony. First of all, I appreciate the opportunity to provide testimony regarding the 2013 budget resolution which the Congress is working towards. And as we all know, the budget statement by any legislative body is our foremost policy statement. And in that vein, I'd like to say that I'd like to see us be very strong on simple concepts of fairness and equality. Now, let me give you a couple of examples that I'd like to see incorporated. And this, of course, affects Hawaii in primarily, but it also affects other areas as well. The first I'd like to discuss is what we call COFA, which is the Compact of Free Association. Many of us may not remember how that came about. It was when the United States did nuclear tests in the Pacific, and as a result, we have resulted with 3 treaties. One with the Republic of the Marshall Islands, another with the Federated States of Micronesia, and of course, the third is with the Republic of Palau. What this does, the COFA does, is it permits them free access migration into the United States and benefits, primarily in the areas of health, education, housing. And I mean free migration. Unfortunately, what we have not done as a country is to bear that burden. So though the majority of it is being borne by Hawaii, Guam, and the Commonwealth of the Northern Marianas, it has now spread to Arkansas, California, Washington, Oregon, Utah, and Arizona that have substantial populations. What does this mean? In 2004, we have now grown since that date, where we first established a $30 million reimbursement or basically compensation for these areas. We have now grown in population 80%. The cost has gone up to about $1 billion when you look at what was born from 2004 to present for these various locations. Hawaii alone is facing a deficit of 62% of that $1 billion for that period of time, 62%. What does the United States give the areas that is facing this burden? $30 million with a proposal of an additional $5 million to be split by all of us. You can imagine it is estimated a yearly burden now is about $185 million. But that's all. We're getting 30 million, I'm sorry, to the 185 million that we are faced. They are not eligible for benefits such as TANF, Medicaid, and SNAP, which is food stamp. They're not eligible for that. So who pays? The states pay. And as I said earlier, Hawaii is hit by $620 million since 2004, uncompensated. Fairness and equity should be something that governs our budget. And we cannot continue to expect us or the other states and our insular territories to bear that burden. In addition to that, I'd like for the committee to consider another point, again related to our isolated location. We are able to travel between our islands only by air. And as you can imagine, that we have about 1.3 million people. The bulk of the people, they're spread between all the respective islands. It means that when we travel, with part of the budget, as we assess, for example, $100 special fees, facilities fees, we bear that burden disproportionately. And I would like for this committee to consider when we look at, for example, the $100 per flight fee on commercial and general aviation, and also what is called a $5 per one-way trip for passenger security. Because what that does for those of us in Hawaii, because it is the only mode of transportation, we end up paying 25% more on inter-island passenger flights, 25% more than any place else. And the reason is simple. Our major hospitals are on the main island of Oahu. Most of all the different types of activities that go on is on the major island of Oahu. And you can imagine when people who are on fixed incomes must get for special medical care, they have got to travel. Our travel inter-island is about 5.5 million a year. That's the only way. Whether you're meeting family, you're getting together, or when you can't even do anything other than to seek that important care. So those are examples, and I hope that what we adopt is a policy of fairness and equality among all of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I had no idea about that, that you couldn't travel without the boat. I don't know why.
Well, we have to do the boat.
It-
Unless you have a nice boat. It's just air.
Okay.
But
Well,
thank
thank you for your testimony. I personally would love to work with you on that issue, so I thank you for bringing that to light.